What's up everybody, SuperDrux fan here for another weekly update. So before we get into the very exciting news here for this week, the first thing that I want to mention is that there will not be a weekly update next week. Unfortunately, I'm going to be traveling way too much next week. I won't have any time to film a weekly update because they do take basically all day to film and edit. So I will not have one next week, unfortunately. Now, if you do want to stay up to date on all the rumors and spy shots and all that car news, definitely you're going to want to follow me on social media, especially Twitter. That's where I retweet all the automotive news stories of what's going on, what's spied every single day. So follow me on Twitter at SuperDrux if you want to stay in the loop. But I will have a weekly update here the following week. It's just because of my travel schedule and just way too much going on for me to be able to do it next week. But getting into the news for this week, the best story of the week, in my opinion, the most exciting thing is that there was a Chrysler 300 that was spied this past week with manufacturer plates and a wide body on it. It's very wide fender flares there, and it's wearing Dodge Demon wheels and tires. And so you can only imagine this is most likely some kind of Hellcat-Powered 300. And the photographer that actually took these pictures said that after following it for a while, he is very, very confident that this thing is powered by some kind of supercharged Hemi, most likely, once again, the Hellcat motor. So, yes, it's just amazing. 315 wide tires on all four corners here on this car. It looks fantastic, by the way, and it's completely uncamouflaged. So, it's really kind of a curious spotting as to, it even has an SRT badge there on the grill, but otherwise there are no badges on it. So that's really the only thing missing. Otherwise, this basically looks production ready. It's not rough or unfinished looking. It's basically looks like it could be on sale tomorrow kind of deal. So yes, other things though. Now the interesting thing is the Chrysler 300 SRT hasn't been sold here in a few years. It's currently only sold in the Middle East actually. So we still have the normal 300 here, but we haven't had the SRT for a few years. I don't know why they ever got rid of it. So there's kind of some doubt as to whether this thing, if it is actually a thing, if it's even going to be coming to the States. It might just be something for the Middle East only. But honestly, especially with the Demon and them bringing the Hellcat motor to the Jeep Cherokee Trackhawk now and stuff, I don't see why they wouldn't make this vehicle here for the States. I think we'd be the best target audience for a vehicle like this. And I personally think it looks fantastic. It looks so cool. But apparently Auto Guide did reach out to Chrysler, and the Chrysler spokesperson said officially that there are no plans to bring a high-performance 300 to North America. So the only thing I can think of as an explanation for what this is doing in the States, driving around on manufacturer plates, so it's an official Chrysler thing, not some custom job or some personal vehicle of some random person. The only thing I think this could possibly be, if it's not a production vehicle, is it could be a SEMA car. So SEMA, they build all kinds of crazy stuff. Last year Dodge did the Durango shaker concept, which had the Hemi shaker motor in a sportier looking Durango. It was awesome, and that did not get built. But they basically did the same thing with the Durango SRT, which ended up getting built here 6 months later. So even if it is a concept for SEMA, I think that still could have a very good chance of leading to some kind of production vehicle. But the only thing, if this is a concept for SEMA, usually, SEMA isn't until the beginning of November, or late October, early November. So for this thing to be already ready and basically done here, obviously it wouldn't take much. It's just that wide body kit that actually took some work and finagling, but otherwise you just drop the motor in there, put the wheels and tires on, and you're set. But still, I don't know why it would be ready and rolling around on the streets here in May if this thing isn't going to be showing up officially until November. So I don't know. That's not a perfect explanation, but that's the only thing I can think of as to how this could not be a production vehicle. But with how crazy Dodge and, Fiat Chrysler in general, they're making cars like there's no tomorrow. And I mean that like, long-term plans, everyone else is going to batteries and stuff. And, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, they're all just like, let's make all the awesome stuff, throw our biggest motors in everything we make and just be awesome. And I hope that they never quit being like that, because I think it really separates them from the more conservative conservative manufacturers out there. Although, you know, I mean, Ford and GM both make very awesome vehicles with the Mustang Camaros and stuff like that. But I mean, really, for Dodge to be doing this with every single vehicle, basically making them all awesome, having performance variants of every single model they make practically, it's really respectable. I mean, I really am turning into a Mopar fan. I don't know if I'll buy one, you know, any time in the future, but I really love their company and the way it's run currently. So anyway, very exciting to see that. We'll keep our fingers crossed this thing does actually get built and produced. Maybe we'll see a debut at the LA Auto Show, but that also isn't until November. So who knows? Maybe just something fun over the summer online. They'll reveal it. And yeah, hopefully that thing gets built though, because I think that would actually sell really well. And according to some of you that were already commenting on Instagram, everyone seems very excited about it. So hopefully this thing actually does end up making it to the streets. Another vehicle that will be making it to the streets here, and we saw it lapping the Nürburgring, was the Lamborghini Urus SUV. Now, we've seen multiple spy shots of this thing already. It looks basically the same as all the other spy shots. The big news here is it's being spotted on the Nürburgring, running around, and you know, looks pretty potent. But one other interesting thing about the Urus that came out this week is the Lamborghini CEO, Stefano Domenicali. He announced that we know it's going to have a twin-turbo V8 engine powering it, but he has officially said it's going to have 650 horsepower from that engine. Now, the Urus, I believe, is going to have a hybrid variant, or they'll all be hybrid. I'm not really sure which way it's going, but anyway, the hybrid would be an addition and add on to that. So, you know, I don't know how much boost that hybrid powertrain would, you know, bring in, but 650 horsepower already makes it faster than a Bentley Bentayga. Theoretically, as far as horsepower goes, at least it'd be faster than a Bentayga or any of the other high-performance SUVs like the Cayenne Turbo S and stuff like that. So it's off to a good start here, and we'll just have to wait to hear more details. Maybe that'll be revealed here at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September, but still no official word as to when we're going to finally be seeing these. Another big story this week was that BMW has officially revealed that the next generation M5 here is going to have all-wheel drive. Now, we already suspected that, considering Mercedes switched to all-wheel drive for the E63, and you know, those types of competitors. Audi, of course, has been all-wheel drive all along. But so yeah, well, there was just a video that was put out with Gran Turismo style graphics that were showing us a camouflage car. Still, we don't have an official reveal, though. They say that this car is going to be going on sale later this year, so that means we should certainly be seeing an official reveal of this thing at least at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September, if not sooner. Yeah, we don't even know any of the other official specs about the car. There's guesses it's going to have the twin turbo 4.4 liter V8 that'll do maybe around 600 horsepower, but it's all kind of a guess at this point. But we do know, like I said, they confirmed it's going to be all-wheel drive, but it's interesting. So it's called MX Drive, and they say that it's going to make for the most exciting and emotionally enthralling M5 to date. The setup's going to be rear biased, like the Mercedes system is. It only sends power to those front wheels whenever the rears lose traction, and there's a bunch of different drive modes, so you can also swap around the all-wheel drive settings. So there's just normal all-wheel drive mode, there's a four-wheel drive sport, which I guess makes it even more rear biased, and there actually is a two-wheel drive mode, and in the video it shows it doing drifts and all that kind of stuff. So if you, the AMG E63 has the same deal, where you can make it rear-wheel drive only and have drift mode where you just slide all over the place. You can do that with this too. So now they did say that it defaults to four-wheel drive mode with stability control and all that stuff all fully on every time you start the car up. So to go in and make it rear-wheel drive, you have to go into iDrive and hit it, or it might be able to be programmed into one of the M buttons on the steering wheel. But either way, you're going to have to press some kind of button to get it into that rear-wheel drive mode, but at least it's an option. I think that's a perfectly fine compromise. So good that they're giving people the option. You know, you don't have to have the all-wheel drive. I think it gives you the best of both worlds, honestly, aside from the extra weight. But really, it's a win-win. Other things, though, is BMW is claiming that as far as acceleration goes, it's going to have sprints in the sort of times that leave its predecessor trailing in its wake. So that means it's going to be the fastest M5 ever, and we could have guessed that already. They're not going to make it slower than the old one. So I think, that's a guarantee. But yes, like I said, could be seeing it at Frankfurt, but they say it'll be on sale by the end of this year. There's teasing, there's some, going to be some new interior bits as well. We'll have to wait to see the full reveal of that when on the car is revealed. Anyway, cool to see that. Another camouflage car that was officially teased this week was the Hyundai i30N. And so it was teased officially by Hyundai UK, but then we're also seeing some spy shots of it with less camouflage than that official video, and you can kind of see just the tape that shows off, you know, the hot hatch body style there, and it looks very cool. So the i30, for those of us here in the United States, is called the Elantra GT. It's the 5-door hatchback here that we get, and so this teaser, though, is showing, it was released by Hyundai Motor Europe, and it shows it being tested on UK roads. And so it's looking like it's going to be some type of Volkswagen GTI Focus ST competitor. And in the teaser video, there's actually a screen where they show the computer screen of a dyno run or whatever going on, and it's showing 257.5 PS at 6,000 RPMs and 302.1 Newton meters of torque at the minimum. That's just from this dyno thing that we see here. And that roughly translates to 254 horsepower and 223 pound-feet of torque here for those of us here in the States. So again, that could be at the wheels or that could be at the crank. I don't know how they were measuring it in that video clip. But either way, it's kind of falling within the range of what we're expecting here. It's going to be more powerful than the Elantra Sport, but how much more so, we'll have to wait and see. Again, this could be revealed in the fall as well, possibly at the Frankfurt Motor Show, at least for those in Europe. We could maybe see a US version revealed here at the LA Auto Show in November. But I don't even know 100% if we're getting this car in the States. I don't think that's actually been confirmed yet. The hot hatch market is obviously much hotter over in the UK and Europe than it is here in the States. I mean, they sell reasonably well here in the States, but I think obviously the first priority is those in Europe, and then maybe for us. But it's still not confirmed, so I'm, it may or may not happen. And we do know they've, have the Elantra Sport here and stuff like that. So they are interested in bringing us performance models. And I think they want to establish this new N brand everywhere. So I'm guessing it's coming to the States, but I don't think that's a done deal just yet, at least as far as we know. But yeah, so anyway, cool to see that. Another affordable, fun car that was actually priced this week is the Honda Civic Si, which actually went on sale officially last week. So it's now, you can go to your dealer and buy one. I think I've been seeing truckloads of them that have been slowly arriving, along with the Type R, which is also going on sale here roughly around the same time. Anyway, so the pricing for the new Civic Si, it's the same for the coupe and the sedan. They're identical in pricing. They're both starting at $24,775. And the only two options I saw on the configurator on Honda's site are some fancy wheels that are like $1,200 or something, and then you can also get summer tires, which were they're a $200 upgrade over the all seasons, which is a good deal for summer tires. Still only $200 extra bucks, and that's really it. They all come fully loaded, one trim. There's no different trim levels at all, at least so far. Again, it could be the same story as the Type R, where they start off with fully loaded versions. Then the 2018 models will be getting additional trims, since this is just a super short 2017 model year run. Anyway, all the stuff that's included here, first off, they're all manual only for the Civic Si. They all include dual zone climate control, heated seats, push button start, 7-inch touchscreen infotainment with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and that center screen also can show boost pressure, lap times, and has a shift light and a G meter built into it as well. So very cool to have those. And other Civic news, though, real quick, is that the Type R miles per gallon ratings were revealed by the EPA, because the EPA listed, they didn't say it was for the Type R, but it was for a 2-liter turbo Civic, and that's what this is. Anyway, so they say, according to the EPA, it's going to be getting 22 miles per gallon in the city, 28 on the highway, 25 combined. Now, that's right around the same as its competitors, the Golf R and the Focus RS. The Golf R actually gets slightly better fuel economy, but the funny thing is, though, those other two competitors are all-wheel drive. The Civic Type R is front-wheel drive. So I don't know if maybe those are conservative ratings. You would think having 2 less driven wheels would help with the fuel economy, but it seems like it's only matching or slightly under its competitors there. So interesting to see those numbers. Figured they'd be a little bit higher, but still not bad. And I mean, 306 horsepower from a little turbo 4-cylinder. It doesn't surprise me that it's not super, super high. But anyway, awesome to see that. Another vehicle that was priced this week was the Camaro ZL1 1LE. So they've announced the pricing for it. It's not cheap. The 1LE package for the ZL1 is going to be $7,500 on top of the price of a ZL1. So whenever you have the ZL1 standard base price and then have this package on top of it, you're going to be starting at a starting price for the ZL1 1LE of $70,990. 71 grand, but that's a lot of car for 71,000 bucks. That's almost certain to be a king of whatever track event you're at. Because that 1LE package here for the ZL1 gives you the Multimatic spool valve shocks, adjustable ride height and caster at the front, and then an adjustable anti-roll bar there for the rear. And then you obviously have the aero kit with the big rear wing and the big front spoiler. You also have the Goodyear Eagle F1 Supercar 3R tires, and they say it's about 60 pounds lighter than a normal ZL1 because there's the lightweight forged aluminum wheels, a fixed rear seat, and thinner rear glass. So all that helps to make it 60 pounds lighter as well. You don't get any more power with the 1LE package. We already knew that. But again, 650 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque. Do you need more power? Honestly, I mean, I certainly don't think so. It was plenty of fun just with the normal ZL1, and so the 1LE with even wider tires put down power even better. I think, like I said, it's going to be the king of whatever track day you're at. So anyway, this is a 2018 model, and they're going to be available this summer along with all 2018 Camaros. They're all going to be available this summer, which is interesting because the Camaro, the 2018 models are going to be available this summer, but those wanting a 2018 Mustang are going to have to wait until November at least. So Camaro is going to have a little bit of an edge there as far as model years go. I mean, there's no other changes, I don't think, to the 2018 Camaros, but it's still, for those that say, I wanted the newest thing out there, the Camaro is going to have it available before the Mustang does. So interesting to see that. Also, the ZL1 1LEs are only available with a manual transmission, by the way. Of course, we know the normal ZL1 you can get with the automatic, but the 1LE package is manual only, which is kind of cool. Another vehicle that was priced this week that's a lot tamer is the Volvo XC60 crossover, which they already started producing, and they're going to be on sale here in the fall. But they're going to be starting at $42,495, and that's for the entry-level T5, and that's the 250 horsepower turbo 4-cylinder. The T6 has 315 horsepower with that crazy turbo and supercharged 4-cylinder engine they have in that little thing, and that is going to have a starting price of $45,895. There's the range-topping T8 model, which is the top of the line one with its 400 horsepower. It has a plug-in hybrid kind of thing going on, and in addition to that other motor. And that one's going to be $53,895. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I was looking at the configurator for these online, and it's really well equipped for that base price of $42,500. I mean, you get standard all-wheel drive, panoramic sunroof, leather seats, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto with that fantastic large vertical center screen there. And it also gives you standard safety equipment that is usually an option in all the other competitors, including the lane keep assist, oncoming lane mitigation, which is the new thing for Volvos only, automatic emergency braking and steering with pedestrian and animal detection, blind spot detection and intervention, and so you get all that as standard on every XC60. So the only options, I mean, like I said, there's different trim levels with different interior trims and things like that you can obviously choose from, but as far as big ticket options, you can just upgrade to Napa leather over the standard leather. There's a Bowers & Wilkins sound system that's like $3,100, and air suspension, which gives you different driving modes, is also an option, and so yeah, but overall, really good deal. I think they're with a standard equipment list, and like I said, they're going to be available in the fall. So cool to see that. Another vehicle that was spied here this past week, going back into some spy shots, is the Jeep Wrangler pickup truck was spied yet again. Now, before there were vertical shots, now we see some shots from ground level here, and it does look pretty good. It looks big. It's definitely going to be long and be pretty big. And we can also see here from these shots that the spare tire is going to be under the bed like most other pickup trucks, not mounted to the tailgate or anything like that to try and keep it Jeepy. It's just going to stick to the normal pickup truck layout there. And all of the articles are still claiming we're not going to see this thing until late 2019. But again, it looks so far along. I mean, I don't think it could be, 2.5 years away. It doesn't make any sense. I feel like we could easily see this thing in November at the LA Auto Show or, Detroit in January. I don't see any reason for it to be pushed any further beyond that, but we'll have to see. Maybe there's some complications behind the scenes that are pushing back that start date. But anyway, interesting to see that. Another vehicle was spied officially. Actually, just two pictures were leaked out by Daimler's chairman, Zich. I probably butchered that, but anyway, he's the guy with the big mustache, looks like the Monopoly guy. He is a pretty cool guy, you know, from previous, I think Dr. Z is what some people called him in a commercial or something. Anyway, he posted 2 images here of a prototype A-Class. Now, there's lots of camouflage on it still, so you can't see too much. We already did see the A-Class concept a couple of months ago, and so you can see here, though, from the first spy shot of him posing here, you can see that it's going to have some headlights that look similar to the AMG GT sports car there, which is going to be you know, pretty cool. And so the second picture, you can see the front and you can see the back of the hatch version, which we probably won't be getting here in the States. You know, the A-Class hatch is something only for Europe there and the rest of the world. But the sedan, the CLA, we do get here. And you can see the back end of that car there in that second picture. And you can see it's got some pretty wide hips to it there, and it's got some taillights that even look similar again to the AMG GT sports car. Hopefully it doesn't look too much like a sports car, because then it's really going to degrade the you know, the AMG GT if you have the little CLA at $30,000 that has a lot of similar design traits. But anyway, yeah, so but it looks good from what we can see here, and hopefully we see an official reveal, you know, maybe again at Frankfurt or later on this year, but cool to see that. Another vehicle that was, again, officially teased was the Jaguar XF Sportbrake, which is the wagon version of the XF, and I originally thought we weren't getting this here in the States, but thankfully Autoblog has confirmed, according to a Jaguar representative, that we are getting these here in the United States, and they'll be available later this year. Now this whole car is going to be revealed on June 14th. That's when we'll see all of it. But you can get a pretty good idea from these few pictures they already officially posted of how it's going to look. You know, if you get rid of the crazy wrap, it's going to look like you would expect an XF wagon to look. Pretty beautiful there, I'm assuming, in the back. All we really have are some shots of the front there, but it should look very good overall, and hopefully they'll have a faster version of that as well. But it's cool to see them still trying a wagon, even though the F-Pace is on fire with sales and just doing really, really well. I'm glad to see they're trying a wagon still. Another vehicle that was spied here this week was the BMW i8 Spyder, and we've seen this multiple times. It was spied this past winter running around in the snow, and now we can see it here with the top off, and it looks pretty good. But you can see it's going to have almost like a Targa type cutout. It's not going to be super open air, but still is going to be pretty cool. We don't know much more about it, whether it's going to have any kind of updated, faster power plant, or if it's the same one as the current i8. But again, rumors are saying we could see this in September as well, or it could be later. But either way, very cool to see that. And the last 2 stories this week. The first is what I consider good news, but mixed bag, depending on how you feel about it. Porsche, it was confirmed by Car and Driver, apparently, that Porsche has killed off the idea of a hybrid 911. There was reports last year they were working on that Porsche said that every model of their range is going to have a hybrid power plant at some point, and they're working on all that. Well, apparently it's been killed off late last year for the 911. They just said that apparently because of the weight constraints and the packaging issues and the price of the hybrid system, that the obstacles were insurmountable, and it would compromise the 911 too much, that it wouldn't be as much of a 911 anymore. And I think they kind of also were getting a lot of heat from the community and people that were like, no, don't make it hybrid. And so I think they kind of ditched it, and they say now their focus is to just make the current model 911 even more efficient for this next generation. And so, you know, they'll probably stick obviously with the turbo motors, even though everyone hates those, it seems to, for the most part. There's people that like them a lot, but yeah, so I think they're finally like, okay, like we're not going to torment you with a hybrid only turbo 911s now. We're going to, you know, at least keep it with a normal motor and no electric assistance there. So I know that, you know, like I said, it's a split thing. Some people want every car to just become this crazy fast electric Tesla fighter. Other people like the whole old school naturally aspirated gasoline burning engines and stuff like that. I'm in that latter group, and so I'm happy to see them ditching the hybrid 911. I wish that Ford would ditch the hybrid Mustang idea as well. That's been confirmed for the next generation Mustang. But, you know, one at a time. I'm glad to see that Porsche at least is ditching the hybrid 911 here. So, cool to see that. And the last story this week is this guy named Brandon Jason Harris sent in some images to GM Inside News, who wrote this story here about this reworked Cadillac XTS that was spied around GM's tech center in Michigan here. And so as you can see here from these spy shots, we just have 2 spy shots of it here. front shot, you can see it's got the CT6 headlights and grille here in a very similar fashion, not identical, but similar. And so I guess that's a styling trait they're going to be carrying on to other models here. And so you have those LED lights that droop down there. And then in addition, in the back, it's really interesting because you have, more sculpted trunk deck lid there that looks really good, actually. And then you have those very interesting taillights, which almost look like the taillights on the Cadillac Escala, but flipped upside down. So instead of them going across the top, you have them now going across the bottom of the bumper there. And I think it's actually a pretty cool look and looks pretty good overall. Now, mechanically, it'll probably be mostly carryover. It's just probably a new body style and look to it there, but it will probably get the new GM 9-speed automatic transmission. And we do know the 2017 XTSs, like all the other 2017 Cadillacs, are getting the updated instrument cluster here for 2017 already, and that's going to be on current gen models, as well as the updated Q infotainment system. So that'll all be probably carried over, of course, into the 2018 models here. But as far as when we'll see this officially, it's rumored that the 2018 XTS is going to be debuting in June at the 2017 Beijing Motor Show. And then we could see it, online revealed, or in, again, in LA in November or something here for the States. But yeah, so very interesting to see that, and thanks to Brandon for getting those pictures. That's really cool. But yeah, so that's it for all the news this week, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.